The agenda?
Yes, that's in front of you, the agenda, just going over some of the items that have been added since the work session, going from the bottom up. We have added the Cohen Law Group engagement. I don't know, has anybody else signed up in the last 3 weeks or so? Push us to a bigger discount eventually. Do have the RAD fund designation as discussed. It's like the sale of a zero turn mower, so taking care of things at the golf course with everything else that has been discussed. In terms of motion 6, we did provide, and there's a copy in your packets of revisions that have been sent to property owner. We had one discussion. I haven't received anything back yet right now, so we don't have anything to sign tonight. We don't have a signed version back from them, but we have this. If there are some final changes or little tweaks, it's in a form acceptable. So make substantive changes. That's in the packet, and if there are substantive changes, we'll come back for another vote. Once again, this is one of those MS4 projects that is being pushed as of the DEP review into 2025.
And Cohen Law Group, we have.
Hey,
That's where the threshold. Okay, doesn't matter. That's all right. That's good.
What did they read?
We have reached 11 municipalities.
Awesome. Anything else?
that's it.
Cool. All right. Manager's report items.
Okay, wireless communications infrastructure study update. We had last Thursday a 1-hour Zoom meeting with myself. Gary was on it, Jim was on it, we had Chief Leach, Kansas Rapid Park Ambulance Authority, Andy was on it, representing the car company, and we had 2 folks from Allegheny County Emergency Services on the call. And we discussed how we're going to move forward. Next Tuesday between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, they will be here, both Cityscape and FE, conduct interviews with our emergency services folks. And they will also, from 9 until 11 in the morning, FE will be at Allegheny County, conducting a 2-hour interview with them. So they get all the information they need on our radio needs and what we have currently as far as infrastructure. Cityscape will also be in the area, taking a look at all infrastructure within the borough and within a 1-mile radius of the borough, so they can start preparing their information, so that we can take a look at phase 1 results and decide if we want to move forward. Right away.
All right.
Birdtown, Pennsylvania, there's a Birdtown, Pennsylvania is a program that has been in eastern Pennsylvania for a few years now, and this year it's been introduced to western Pennsylvania, administered by Audubon Society of Western Pennsylvania, to become a Birdtown community at the green level. We have to establish a Birdtown committee, pass a resolution, complete an application, and pay a one-time registration fee of $100. That gets us to the green level, and then there are things you can do to get all the way up to gold. And a lot of the things that you need to do, we are already doing or had planned on doing. So the council's okay with it. We'll have a resolution ready for the July meeting and go ahead and apply. Take the steps we need to do.
Our financial commitment is just $100.
Just $100. Yeah, and then whatever we need to do internally. Again, it's a lot of the things we do.
Is the ultimate goal for like loading of birds and taking care of them?
Regarding nature, much like the mayor's monarch pledge.
That kind of fits in the comp plan.
Yeah, this is for preserving on the screen space. Like birds and butterflies.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
That was for tax exemption.
Yes, that's good. Sure. Okay. Cool. All right. Proposed improvements to the Clover Hill Golf Course Clubhouse.
Jim's here for that. Yes.
Yeah, so in our budget for this year, we had put in for the new siding, the new volleyball, we had been putting throughout the activity center and other facilities. We have the old pine board and it's very drafty and bee issues and it's rotting and getting old. We're talking with a couple of companies The amount of money we'd already budgeted, we could do the fascia, the soffit, the siding, most likely the gutters, all within that same, that we already have budgeted for. It's just putting the bid out, getting the bid together, and having the bid in total be done, have that work done this fall. That's what I was looking to do. I know we had talked in the budget about trying to do some of that internally just to save costs, but with the Hardy Board, the two companies I talked to, they're certified Hardy Board. And it's not too hard difficult, but they do it on a daily basis, the installation and just for the cost to have it all done, the window treatments and have the entire clubhouse exterior completely done. And that's roughly, it should be roughly that same we already budgeted for.
Does that preclude you from doing the other inside stuff? You
No.
wanted to do?
No, that was all separate. So, it's an outside, mainly the exterior of the building. The last couple of years, there's some, major B issues because of the gaps we have in the way the soffit and fascia, there's like little half-inch gaps, which is perfect for them. And then it's hard for us to get in there to even maintain the beehives. This will help, obviously, get rid of the rotten wood and clean up the whole clubhouse in general on the exterior. The new windows are in.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest part, to be able to do the siding. So I know Public Works is busy this fall, seeing with our guys, so. But for something with the Hardy Board, that's what we go with. They're certified trained on installation.
Something we will need to put out to bid.
Yeah.
So, if council's okay, and the next budget item, we'll have Sean prepare our specs.
Cool. All right, Festival and Park update.
Wasn't sure if there were any last minute items anybody needed to touch base about. One of them was the flyer that,
Yeah.
So I circulated a draft flyer. What we got.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it seems, it looks pretty good. It's pretty clean.
Yeah, you should have had the Parks and Rec and there. You not covered everything pretty extensively.
My apologies.
Or,
The only update we will do is we will not do transportation from Franklin. Cost had something to do with it, and as we're getting closer and I see the temperature is gonna be, we should expect smaller crowds. Because as of the last couple days, it's supposed to be upper eighties for that Saturday, which we'll see a smaller crowd when it gets that hot. And as has shown in past years, we're also gonna redo the yard waste area, striping the down by the piles, heading down Blaine's Way, where we have the mulch piles. We'll put temporary striping in there as well to help the parking. So I feel we'll be more than sufficient without running transportation. I updated the guys at the fire department.
our table, Borough has a table there.
Or we'll have a table.
Your name.
Yeah, yes.
And the tax.
I guess you have the district later.
Fire department.
What time I go there? Sit there?
Basically, for
Whenever, it closes.
9:30 or fireworks, so
If you can-
9:45, 9:50.
Might be a question. Okay, all right, sounds good.
Most rides rides and everything close at 8:30. The band will perform till 9:15. Most vendors, which is kind of where you'll be, generally close up like
All
8,
right,
between 8 and 9.
no, that's cool, I don't know. All right, yeah, we have an awesome flyer now, so there's that.
I can take a time slot in there if you need a break.
Anybody wants to join me, feel free.
certainly more than one there.
Typically, I'll be jumping in, but I won't be in the state for this.
It's all good. Okay, cool.
That,
Should.
say that we're not running transportation from the school,
Not from the school.
is there a reason for that?
Due to how warm it's gonna be and cost of running transportation. Just for what little we would probably have there. Even during the bicentennial, we saw almost no usage of the Barrel Y. We did see usage of Franklin, but the crowds are expected to be a lot smaller.
Yeah, that, the type of transportation is really inflating like big time. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Georgetown Drive, speed study.
Yeah, I gave mayor and council a copy of a report I had done. I just wanted to highlight the use of the JMR since we spent money using it, deployed it immediately, and since we've been talking about Georgetown Drive. And then I kind of did a study from previous years. Volume of traffic is definitely increased, but no enforceable action was noted in the report. And I think it has a lot to do with the speed calming measures are in place and then the enforcement on behalf of the department. So,
I did take a drive up there. Like I thought, when you're turning out, I don't think those hours did. Did you take a look? And you're.
So I started spending a little bit more time there. I mean, definitely feeling a lot of like the last couple months, local ones. But I think for me, if I'm in an SUV, I'm a little elevated. So if I'm turning, what is a cross street? Is Connecticut or whatever?
One of them, yeah, they're often for college students.
Yeah, whatever the main one is.
Big East and stuff.
Yeah, if I'm turning left on a Georgetown or right, if I'm in an SUV, I'm a little elevated, so it's typically, but if I'm in a vehicle like a sedan, I am lower, so it's a little bit more difficult. So it just depends on the situation. But yeah, it's interesting to see the volume of pedestrians.
There are a lot there.
Okay. Yeah, and the JMR, a person would not be able to see it from the street, right? Like this.
yeah, no, it is very incognito.
Okay, all right. So I was
So,
looking for it.
yeah, it's a small box. You wouldn't even notice it. We actually have it deployed we're deploying a couple other locations as well. So,
Okay, yeah, let's put it in.
I mean, cross to this.
The one in the middle. Yeah.
So we've had requests to do these, the information that you had from previous studies, that was based on requests from residents who wanted us to study the traffic data?
no, not always. We've deployed the JMR at different locations, just either one because someone has complained, or for our own benefit. My game plan this, with the new JMR is I'm gonna rotate around the borough to collect data from all the different locations. Some of the, areas with higher volume, I'll do Nicholson, Branchville Road, Reese Run, Rochester, but I also want to gather some data from some of the plans as well. So
Okay, so these in 2018 and 2014 weren't necessarily based on complaints?
I actually don't know the answer to that because I was not involved in those ones, but I found a folder with that data in there and I was able to extract it. So
Oh, it's helpful. I
Yeah.
just wondered if it's the same people, like if it's one person we're getting a complaint from, or if we're getting complaints from multiple residents in that area.
I don't remember us doing the study up there since I've been
Okay.
2018, 2019, right, Chief?
yeah, and then we had the issue, the JMR kind of started to fail us a little bit there. So
I also don't remember spending there.
yeah.
I know we've done several on this in that time.
Chief, would it be possible to do one over on Cole at some point? I mean,
Absolutely.
not immediately, but maybe now that you have the new machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know the officers have been there, more frequently, and they're usually pulling out within like 2 minutes. It
Yeah.
doesn't take them very long to find something that's over that.
That's always been a road for the 26 years I've been here. There's always been a road that if you were looking for someone doing a violation, you could go to and find somebody.
Well, I think just, I live right there, so I might have the wrong perception, but it seems like some of the cars, I'm guessing they're about 45, 50. I mean, I don't know. I never hear what the officers, I just see them
Yeah.
taken out of the driveway. I think it'd be interesting to see
Yeah.
how, you probably have higher priorities to use it, but there's like a telephone pole right at the one side there. You could easily connect it.
We will absolutely make full road.
You know, we can do it this year or something.
Absolutely. No problem.
Well, I'll be honest, like, got these two little grandkids running around the yard all day long. My kids grew up and my wife, she complained about it. Now she's a bit paranoid when they're going close to the road.
Oh, absolutely. And there's more traffic, I'm sure. that's
Yeah.
why.
There is more traffic.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. reports from council and mayor. Counterclockwise.
The weather was obviously challenging this week for the fire department. My neighborhood power went out at 5. We had a total communications blackout at that point. No cell service. There was a pole on King Charles at the year 3. Couldn't get 911 with the phone, couldn't get into it on the radio. So I'm really glad to see that we're receiving the cityscape, and hopefully it makes a difference. Those guys were out very late that night, the next day. I thought it was a tough one. We should have been busy there, but everything seems to be pretty much up and running again. Things are busy. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I think like, that's definitely something to go with there. So, that's a good use case and example.
For example, Tom told me about a problem on pole. The live wire with the bridge on hold with 911 for almost 20 minutes before it dropped. So that's how backed up they were. And then power didn't get there until 12:30 at night. So it's 5.5 hours on a live wire, which is usually a pretty high priority. So things were pretty backed up.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. We discussed it a little bit in right before you came in here, David. We did have a request that Brian and I received from the resident on Westwood Run about adding the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were here when we talked about that, but I think we should respond to that resident. I mean, I personally don't, it's something that the borough could provide, but I think it might be appropriate for a week or somebody early to write something to the resident.
You did provide the anecdotal story about the folks that combined their resources and put their own sidewalk in across the street.
Which I will include in the response along.
Yeah.
And the sidewalk in Marshall is because of a new development, which we require for new development as well.
Yeah.
So that's not something unusual.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to do it, you want a sidewalk there, it's at the property owners.
And we can always add, like, if there's an opportunity or this stuff we funded and whatnot, we'll always look, but yeah, I agree. And it doesn't have to be like a paved sidewalk either. There could be other options here, like,
Yeah, most people are saying about paved sidewalks because
88.
yeah, something's better enough, right? But
Not so where it is, so it's run like that and then a steep hill.
it's a steep hill, so
So it's really not come up with anything.
Yeah, I'm just thinking with Wexford Run, I knew we had some massive trees fell on there, right past, 120, no, not right.
Huntington Woods.
Huntington
Huntington Woods.
Woods and Health deposits started to move further in. There was a pretty good, there was a pretty large amount of multiple trees from what I could see in the fall time. I don't know who cleared those areas. Is that our guys that did them?
Our guys were out on Wexford Run. I don't know exactly which part of Wexford Run, because there was different areas that there were trees down. I know they got some, I think it was up there right before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that was.
anyhow,
It looks
there's a
like
couple areas they were down in there cleaning up.
Well, I guess what I would ask if we can, I mean, I know the guys are off Fridays now, but, Wexford Run's open, but right when you come to the end of the sidewalks that Marshall put in, there's a fairly large tree. It's just about out onto the road. It's completely covering our welcome to front footprint.
In Marshall, it's on the side.
I think, well, I think it might have fallen from Marshall, but it's probably that, and there's a bunch of other limbs that are hanging down precariously. They're not on the road, but they're, things that have snapped and are dangling along that section of Wexford Drive. Nothing that needs to be done immediately. It might be worth having the public works guys at least drive out and take a look just from there.
Yeah, I'll take a look and see.
It's nothing that's urgent or it's gonna fall, but you see some of these things out there that snapped and they're hanging like right over the white line.
We're talking down, right down, right outside the
Yeah.
line, yeah, right at the line.
Okay,
Right at
I was
the-
down through there this morning, but I didn't go all the way down.
Yeah, you start right at Marshall there and come in, that, just that stretch until you get to where most of the hunting start. There's 3 or 4 places where things are just dying and hanging. So the road is clear. Something to look at. Yeah, Reed, I know I brought this up before, but Ken Lang was there. I think we left the thing with the Dixon property, when we were trying to get CPC and some of us just to walk it on least like this.
I think you and I, Mrs. Schmidt, no, we still need to schedule.
Yeah,
Mrs. Dixon, and Mrs. Schmidt.
yeah, maybe we can put that, she hasn't been complaining to me, but, she's been very nice about it, and I thought maybe we could arrange something.
Okay, I'll reach out to you.
Either next week or two, we'd be ready to do that. This is, fixing one
Lane, off of Porter Road, Crossroad. Schmidt's living right on.
right over the bend there, you start up the hill. It's like a big ravine there, Kathy, that comes from Glenchester all the way behind all the homes on Cole and Glenchester, and it comes right down to the bend there. It's really hard to see that from any of the main streets, a lot of areas back up in that valley that rises up to the. I think that's everything I have on my list today. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Okay. Kudos, again, to the police, fire. I happen to be out traveling to that on Monday night, so it was bad. It was a big challenge for us. Thanks for keeping us safe, fire, police. I got involved with a particular situation, in Franklin Town with 2 trees that had come down. And the residents reported to me. And, I went over and I looked at the situation, and the trees had actually hit power lines and actually brought them down. They're almost way low. So, I thought it was a little dangerous situation, so Tuesday morning, I was able to, make, contact, you had internet problems Tuesday. So, so Anthony, our Detective Anthony, called me. And, he got Ryan Dunn over there to look at that situation. And he was in fact a dangerous situation with live wires for the road. And, I noticed today that they had utility, I don't know who was over there, but they were working on it today, and so, doing all the right things and getting the right people involved, why we can keep a very bad situation from happening, and that would have been with the flag wires. So, but thanks, good job. That's it.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Land use committee, this is we went over, the ordinance provisions, talking about garage door dimensions for townhouses. I think the committee is, recommending that the changes that we make from 50 to 70% are consistent across all of the chart for townhouses. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we looked at the issue of maximum building height. We looked at M2, but R3, R4, and M1 are also candidates for changing the maximum building height. I think we're looking at 3 stories plus the basement at this point. No more than 50 feet high, because we'll make sure that the fire truck ladder can reach the top of the building no matter what, right? And then notice that there is a difference in the minimum lot size for some of the zones, and the smallest is 2,000 square feet, and then there's 2,500 square feet. We're thinking that we want them all to 2,000 square feet.
It's weird.
Yeah. And also, yeah, Luke pointed out, there's inconsistency in how the coding is done. Some of it says like A comma B, some says A plus B, but I think what it's really just,
It's out of the basement is what they did.
yeah, but sometimes it's got a comma and things. Yeah, I mean, we love to get that consistent too.
And 2,000, was that even at 2,000 is accurate? Everything else is 2,500.
This is 2,000.
I thought maybe that might be.
I don't know why they did that. There was more inconsistencies when I first started, we changed a lot of that stuff.
Good. Well, so the 2000, we're on the right track with getting to 2000 and getting consistent. That's what we worked on. Good. Yeah. I guess the proposed ordinance for the trees and wooded areas was reviewed by planning commission.
Yeah, there was no formal feedback.
Yeah.
So from our perspective, wow.
Yeah, so the third agenda item for the land use committee was we can talk about items that have been approved. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, cool. All right, the last, so, yeah, thanks all the first responders on Monday. Definitely a difficult time. I didn't know the borough shut down Nicholson, that's county road, the state road, but they were clearly treated that it's long over. So, we are definitely quick to respond. Yeah, just, yeah, we'll probably find sense more of these stories. Very common. So I don't know, for the long term, minimize some of the damage to our codes and other stuff. So yeah, great job. Yeah, that's it. And we did executive sessions, so we are.
Judy, I had one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
That must slip my mind, but we also looked at the issue of the 8 stories for the apartment buildings, and we want to knock that down to 4 stories. I think that's good enough for our purposes. So we'll look at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask Gary,
Yeah.
Gary, did you guys have any communication issues?
The
Radios and stuff.
No, we're using a lot more cell phones and stuff as well. It's very little on the radios and cell phones, and most guys, everybody has a cell phone, so it's, you know, if they get out with, you know, a group like it, I'm not sure how they, because Palm Lost was called out a couple times with some trees, but those guys are usually all together. They communication stuff a little more the time, like it's gonna be. They're all on 2-man call out or 3 or 4 man, and we use a group of those, so, rather than having any other issues.
Well, the cell service, at least in my personal
Yeah.
experience, my power went out, then my cell service went out because I can't get cell service unless I have an extender that's powered.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, that's our whole neighborhood and most of the.
And I'm assuming, Luke, Mayor, your neighborhood, a lot of people have the extenders. Is that how you're?
Yeah, we're Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And do you have do you have an overhead lights or?
Half the neighborhood, 97% of the neighborhood,
Is that
the first phase.
Okay.
Whatever problems were.
That's right. So above ground was phase 1 of the neighborhood. That's where the tree knocked it down. And then where the lines are buried, you know, if it doesn't matter, it's because you've lost the power. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a long-term easy plan to address this. Seems expensive.
Well, the utilities that are underground don't want the electricity for, you know, so it's a whole.
Yeah, it seems expensive for
Yeah.
people to fix these.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
And then one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I forgot to ask, I get maybe a question for the chief. I know in the packet, we're gonna proceed with the cameras at Lynbrook.
Yes.
And you had the quotes and we had all that information. Will those be the type that have the, they're tied to the county that can, like, you know, look for, you know, how they identify who's going in?
Yes,
You know, they'll be similar to what we've done in all the other parks.
Yes.
Okay, good. I was thinking that's our method of operation here. Is
Yeah.
So,
And I made sure I inquired about, and if not, asked them to add a camera for the pavilion as well. So I addressed that as well.
so you can, if anything looks suspicious going in or out, you can identify that right away like you can elsewhere.
Yes. Yeah,
Very good. Thank you.
yeah, sure.
Guess we're adjourned until like regular meeting.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, some.
Jesus.